Victory Studios in downtown Little Rock. This is Capitol View.
And good Sunday morning to you. Welcome into Capitol View. I'm Jay Burr. Well, the 15-member CARES Act Steering Committee making decisions on how to best use $1.25 billion of federal coronavirus relief funds. And they have been busy. And here to give us an update on what they've done is State Senator Missy Irvin. And Missy, we, for starters, love the backdrop that you've got going on there. And we certainly do appreciate the time here. Let's kind of get right into things here. You guys have been busy this past week with doling out some money. What's kind of the latest that you guys have been doing as part of that steering committee?
Well, one of the things that we did as an extension of the emergency payments to those folks that are working in the capacity of healthcare. So you know that we did a program to give emergency relief payments to nurses and folks that are working with those COVID-19 patients. We extended that to our ambulance and EMT folks this week. So that was a big package, around $12 million to give to those workers, because we've got to make sure that our ambulances and those people working in EMTs, we keep that infrastructure in place in our counties. It's really critical for our citizens that they have the availability of ambulances and EMTs. That infrastructure needs to be maintained, and so those payments were an effort to do that. That's one of the things that.
Yeah, and I wanted to get into some other infrastructure type of things there with you. You mentioned some of that. I know telemedicine, and even when we get into next fall school year, and even this past school year, we see rural broadband and even broadband coverage across the state really pick up. And I know you guys passed that. It was over $20 million this past week, and even kind of fast tracking that to get it out into where it needs to go. I guess sort of what was sort of the thought process behind it? What's that going towards specifically?
So that was a significant project. That's one I've been working on for quite some time. So it's a total of $21.6 million. That goes in conjunction with the $5.7 million that we have already allocated for broadband program for the Arkansas Rural Connect program. So it's a total of $25 million for Arkansas Rural Connect. That goes to deployment of broadband fiber and access, which provides access for folks. Broadband is no longer a novelty. It really is a necessity. And when you've got electricity brought us connectivity. And so this connectivity that you got from electricity, it's a natural extension of where we are in the times today. So it is so critically important that we address this situation now. So 21.6 total, 19.3 goes to Arkansas Rural Connect to complete the $25 million. And then an additional $2 million goes to the Rural ID Broadband Program, which is a program that I and several others wrote to use as a catalyst to reach the federal funds that are available for our state. Arkansas is 48 in access to broadband. We have got to climb that mountain and reach the top. And it's critical for the success of our future, for our state, but also personally for our citizens. It's critical for their success, particularly in the fields of education, K through 12, and higher ed, infrastructure for commerce, also healthcare, and then agriculture. Those are really all very key components of our economy in Arkansas. Tourism is greatly impacted, of course, commerce. But education is really, I think, where we saw the Band-Aid get ripped off and expose our grave deficiencies when it came to the availability and access for not only our students, but also our teachers. So there's just so much of that demand out there, and we have got to get that money operational and out the door. And so you saw us pass that $21.6 million in the CARES committee, but then you also saw today ALC passed an emergency rule to allow for that money to get out the door as quickly as possible.
And some other things that you guys have kind of put some funds into is sort of modernizing some of the inner workings of state government. In fact, it was over $13 million for the modernization of the state's unemployment insurance systems. You know, from a state standpoint, too, these are very important things. I guess some people might ask, is this the best way to steer coronavirus funding?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I mean, we definitely saw a deficiency in our lack of technology improvements and upgrades. And there was nothing more, impacted than our unemployment insurance system, which was, I think, over 20-something years old. It was an old, archaic system and it needed to be updated and replaced. But, you know, the coronavirus situation, that's what really, I think, became a catalyst for us needing to improve that system. So I do believe that that's probably in a very appropriate place, because that's going to be with us some time. And we need to be able to get that money to citizens as quickly as possible if they're facing unemployment issues. You know, it was just so unfortunate that we had such a delay in the pandemic unemployment assistance program for your self-employed folks and your folks that were self-contracted. That was hard for a lot of us to stomach and take, because we were the ones receiving the phone calls from our constituents and trying to help them through that process. So absolutely, if we need to make these funds available to improve our technology and our systems so that we can better serve our citizens, then that is absolutely what we need to be doing with this money. And I think it was a great spend. I'm really proud of the work that the committee has done. I will also say, you know, transparency is so important, and making sure that we hear all the voices of the citizens and the ability for them to weigh in. So now we have a website to do that. We have a process in place that gives the opportunity for those voices to be heard, so that people can weigh in to say, yeah, we agree with this, or we want money to be spent on health and human services. We want money to help small businesses. We want money to do X, Y, and Z. Well, you now have a process in place to do that. So, you know, it's really good work. I'm really proud of the proposals that we went and took up this past week, and the ones that we funded. But as people see, there's a lot of steps that have to take place in order to complete our task. So a lot depends on the legislature, making sure that they have the appropriation authority in place, and making sure that the rules are in place to get that money operational and out the door. And that is so critical right now with broadband, particularly because the federal grant programs are coming up in October. So in order to use that $2 million for the Rural ID broadband program, we've got to get that money for those due diligence studies out the door so we can meet those October deadlines for RDOF, reverse auction. The FCC grant applications are coming up in the fall, and the USDA has a lot of money that they need to give to us. But we need to help people get that money. So I'm so excited. Also want to say, we also hired UAMS, so to speak, to be base camp. I like to think of this as climbing Mount Everest. And UAMS has the expertise and the resources in their shop, so to speak, to help all these entities across the state of Arkansas. So we're going to create a repository of information as a base camp, so to speak, to help all those climbers climb to the top and reach the summit. But, you know, we have some that are more advanced at climbing that mountain, and some that need a lot more help. So UAMS is going to be able to come in and make the assessment of that situation, help navigate all these entities that are eligible for those federal grants, and guide the Rural Connect process as well. So simultaneously, it's really a holistic approach on moving us from 48 up the ladder, hopefully to the top.
Oh, Missy Irvin, never short on words, always breaking things down for us very, very thoroughly, and we certainly do appreciate the time. State Senator Missy Irvin with the Steers Caring Act Committee.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Anytime. You are welcome back in here. All right, well, coming up after a quick break, 2 school superintendents join us to talk about how they plan to tackle COVID this coming school year. You're watching Capitol View on Sunday morning.
Touch and go. Handwriting recognition and the Audi A4. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
Tonight, ready to rock this party? Yes! They'll do a little dance, catch it in their pants, and who knows what they're doing with their hands.
What is happening to me?
Hollywood Game Night, tonight on NBC. Tuesday.
We're not ready to go home.
This is it.
We have 10 groups, only 4 go through.
Their last chance to show them everything they've got.
Earn it, let's earn it.
World of Dance, Tuesday on NBC. And every Friday, catch a World of Dance encore with exclusive content.
I only paid $37 for my glasses.
Awesome. Success Vision. It's the real deal.
It couldn't be easier.
The eye doctor next door is great.
2 thumbs up? Yes.
My glasses feel great.
So easy. I couldn't be happier. Now that is awesome. I loved it.
It's actually fun to buy glasses.
Great feel and great look.
That's why I keep coming back.
I will
definitely be back.
You better for 39 in an hour for less. Come see us today, Success Vision Express.
America, this is our time to shine with spectacular savings at the Hyundai 4th of July sales event. Visit buyhyundai.com.
Every rider has a story. For some, it takes an unexpected turn. But you don't have to face it alone. We're the first call riders make when they're injured. If you're injured in a motorcycle accident, call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. Arkansas's motorcycle lawyers.
Send your tips to KARK Working for You, Central Arkansas's award-winning investigative team.
Own the elements. Quattro and the Audi Q5. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
Sunday morning talk focused on the political scene in Arkansas.
And welcome back into Capitol View. Almost 2 weeks ago, the governor announced schools will return to campus this fall. State Deputy Education Commissioner Ivy Pfeffer announced a new program called Arkansas Ready for Learning. It hopes to prepare educators for a safe return in August. And we have two superintendents joining us to talk about the upcoming plans from the Clinton School District. We have Jay Chalkin from the North Little Rock School District. We have Keith McGee. And guys, I certainly do appreciate the time. And I know it feels like we're putting the cart before the horse just a little bit here, but humor us here and kind of what you guys are going to be talking about. Superintendent Keith, we'll start with you. Kind of coming from a more urban district, what are some of those things that you guys have been talking about in the initial stages of what do we need to look at when it comes to getting school back up and running in the fall?
Yes, thank you for that. Several things we've been looking at doing this fall and reopening. We want to definitely do virtual. And that part, we're kind of working out some logistics. We're looking at trying to have one K-12. We're just trying to work out what that's going to look like from both levels, elementary and secondary level, as we get ready to try to go into that. And then the second option that we're looking at doing is what we call alternate day. We call it an AB option. Obviously, again, we're trying to work those details and logistics out. We're facing with a lot of different challenges. So what we've done in North Little Rock, we've created a task force with community people, public health people, and then, of course, our parents, teachers, and current building administrators and teachers. It's going to help us think through these challenges, and hopefully we can have a plan very, very soon for all of our stakeholders.
And Superintendent Chalk, I guess same question to you, and you're actually joining us on vacation, so we certainly do appreciate that. But, you know, coming from a smaller district, obviously it's probably a little bit of a different challenge, and especially when it comes to the broadband access for some of that blended stuff. What are just some of those challenges that you guys are looking into?
Yeah, Jay, we took the role, I mean, the concept of for us to use this, I mean, the whole virus pandemic as a positive for us, you know, an opportunity for us to excel and do the best that we can for our kids. And so our first main focus was feeding our children. You know, being a rural, kind of impoverished school district, we know that we need to take care of their basic needs first. And then we started moving into the instructional side. And it is, the broadband issue is an issue for us being a smaller rural school district. And we had started off by equipping some buses. We placed those out in the community at different spots where children didn't have Wi-Fi access. That started off and that worked, helped a little bit. But then we actually worked with some local businesses. They gave us and our children Wi-Fi access. And then we worked with a local telephone company who had relay stations throughout the county and community, and they allowed us to put Wi-Fi hotspots in those. And so then that branched it out even more for our kids.
And two, I guess I'll kind of pose this question to both of you guys. Superintendent Chalk, we'll start with you. When it comes to transportation, what are just some of those logistical things that you have to take into consideration? I mean, obviously, a lot of the same things that we see in place now, you know, the social distancing, the sanitizing, are likely going to be in place still when it comes school time. So what are some of those things that you have to sort of take into consideration when it comes to, you know, getting kids on buses?
Yeah, well, we're kind of like Keith also. We put together a task force, a committee that's been working, one, on the Wi-Fi issues and taking care of that, and how we're going to provide instruction and those options that we could provide. Then we'll move into the transportation issue. We're, like everyone else in the state, kind of waiting to see what guidance we get from Commissioner Key and Governor Hutchinson, who both have done a tremendous job in tackling this issue and also helping out school districts, and we are very thankful for them.
And Superintendent McGee, I'll bring you back in here now. I know with you being a larger school district, obviously that physical distancing going to be a little tougher. Is there a way to do that? And I know too, it's a lot harder to corral kindergartners in first grade than it might be juniors and seniors. So what are just some of those things, at least here in the early initial planning stages, that you guys are looking at when it comes to possibly having to space folks out?
Thank you, Jay, for that, and I echo here just joining me. Deputy Arkansas Department of Education, the governor's office, done a wonderful job leading us in this. Obviously, it's a challenge for us to ensure that physical distance and distancing. That's something that we're going to charge our task force to help us think through those things. We want to make sure the safety of both our students and our staff are our number one priority. But we just realize that we want to be strategic, but we want to be effective too. We want to make sure we keep their health and all of the staff health in consideration. So we're kind of thinking through that, Jay, and hopefully we believe that our task force will come up with some very good potential solutions that'll help us be ready for the fall opening. So we're just waiting and seeing, and we're looking to, like Jake said earlier, for some further guidelines that's going to come out to help us out.
Well, it sounds like we're waiting on a lot of word from the state here, but we certainly do appreciate some of that insight when it does come to the initial planning stages of things. Again, interim superintendent with North Little Rock, Keith McGee, superintendent up there in Clinton School Districts, Jay Chalk. Fellas, we certainly do appreciate the time, and best of luck going forward, because we know here, being a superintendent, especially in these times, is not an easy job. So we certainly do appreciate you guys, and best of luck going forward. And please do come back on when you guys do have some more solidified plans. We'd love to hear from you and maybe see what's going on.
We appreciate it, Jay. Thank you for having us.
Likewise, and we certainly would love to come back on. We're having, I'm sure, like Jay said, we're having some certain plans coming up here shortly.
Awesome. Appreciate it, guys. And like I said, you're welcome back in anytime here. All right. Well, when we come back, we take a look at your top political headlines. You're watching Capitol View on Sunday morning.
You know, at the national law firm, Barry and I say, if you have a dollar and two relatives, you need to do some estate planning. When we do estate planning, we're planning not only for our children, but we're planning for these little fur babies as well. Call the national law firm today. Let us do your estate planning.
Replacing your old electrical panel? That's a don't do it yourself. Call Mr. Sparky instead to schedule your electrical panel replacement.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
There are now more options than ever to enjoy Tzatziki's. Our Mediterranean menu is full of healthy and original favorites that are available for dine-in, delivery, takeout, curbside, and drive-through at select locations. We've implemented safety procedures to protect both our guests and our crews. Order online at tzatziki's.com or download our app today. Thank you for your continued support.
I want our customers to feel appreciated because, believe me, without them, there is no Cecil's. They can trust us. We won't steer you wrong. We count on you, and we want you to be able to count on Cecil's. I guarantee once you do find us, you won't forget us.
Cecil's Fine Jewelry. We want to be your jeweler for life.
Slim Chicken's Grilled Chicken Strawberry Salad is back.
fresh greens piled with feta cheese, crisp cucumbers, candied pecans, and 100% all-natural grilled tenders, topped with farm-fresh strawberries. The grilled chicken strawberry salad. But hurry, it's only back for a limited time. Whether you're driving through, ordering online, or picking it up curbside, Slim's has you covered. Download the Slim Chickens app and order online.
Celebrate with jewelry from J. Oliver Jewelry Studio. We can now design your jewelry right before your eyes. Why buy the ordinary when J. Oliver's can create the extraordinary? Take something old and remake it new again. J. Oliver's, your full-service custom jewelry studio.
Do you have a college student in your family? Just because they left the nest doesn't mean they don't still need you. Do you have a power of attorney set up for them in the case of an emergency? Call me, Ben Williamson, an attorney at Nash Law Firm, to find out how I can help you restore your peace of mind.
You're watching Capitol View, Sunday morning talk focused on the political scene in Arkansas.
And welcome back to Capitol View. The newly established Law Enforcement Task Force held its first meeting in Fort Smith on Thursday at the U.S. Marshals Museum. Jesse Pierre has more on how the force will work together to improve policing here in Arkansas.
This task force is born out of protests.
Governor Asa Hutchinson kicking off the first Law Enforcement Task Force meeting in Fort Smith Thursday at the U.S. Marshals Museum.
We need to take a look at how we do things, how we build community relations, how we train, how we hold officers that do the wrong thing accountable.
The force is made up of community activists, city leaders, law enforcement, and leaders in training, with a goal to advance the state of law enforcement in Arkansas.
My biggest priority is accountability within the police department, because I think that community policing and, ending over-policing of minor issues is very important.
We've seen loss of life, we've seen so many terrible scenarios that all of us as humans must appreciate, must look at, and know that these are things that we just can't allow to happen.
Increasing diversity in police departments, building community relations, mental health training were all topics of discussion at the meeting.
And right now we're focusing on systematic racism within our department. I think it's important so we have an understanding of what some of our community members have had to deal with in their lives, so we can relate to that and we can serve them better.
I can't just expect that officers will know how to deal with people that are coming from other cultures, but doing the proper training, those barriers can be accomplished very quickly.
The task force will meet every month and give final recommendations to the governor by December 31st.
Communities around the nation mark Juneteenth, commemorating the end of slavery in the United States. Folks are gathering in Murray Park to observe Juneteenth. The Another Chance Church in North Little Rock put on the celebration with hopes of bringing the community together. We talked with Reverend Eric Jones, who helped make the event happen. He says now more than ever, Juneteenth needs to be celebrated.
Within this current climate of chaos, in this current climate of division and discord across our country, it's good to still be able to come together and celebrate the fact that we are free.
Preach on it. On Capitol Hill, there are multiple bills in the works trying to make Juneteenth a national holiday. Already this year, dozens of high-profile companies made it a holiday for their employees. Juneteenth has a unique meaning to Senator Elliott. It is her mother's birthday, the person who taught her what the holiday actually meant. Her mother lived in the time of the Tulsa Race Massacre. In a video statement, Senator Elliott talks about what the holiday means to her.
For us to be one America, we should all celebrate the meaning of Juneteenth, no matter our backgrounds. Learn about it, recognize it, mobilize for its cause of a country where we're all equal. The story of Juneteenth is a story of a push and pull for progress. Progress which is often teased, then taken away. Partly due to an active opposition to being one America, but also because so many sit inactive on the sidelines. Let's change that.
Our D.C. correspondent Anna Wernicke spoke one-on-one with President Trump at the White House. The president says he'll support the GOP police reform bill, and he says he is not afraid of a second wave of COVID-19.
We're working on something that's going to be very dramatic, very good.
President Donald Trump told me in a one-on-one interview that he's not done with efforts to jumpstart the economy devastated by the coronavirus.
I think we are looking at a phase 4. Phase 1, 2, and 3 have been fantastic for people generally, small business owners also, but we're looking at doing something else in addition.
The president says Americans could be receiving a second stimulus check this summer. But as for a second wave of the virus, he says he's not concerned.
Because we know how to put it out.
We talked to the president the day after he met with the families of victims of police brutality.
Their whole lives were shattered by what happened. In most cases, it was a problem with police. And it's just devastating. When you meet with them and you hear the stories, it's devastating.
The president said it was important to sign his executive order on police reform.
We have great police, great law enforcement, but you have people that make mistakes and you have some bad ones too.
And the president says he's also on board with the Senate Republican police reform bill unveiled Wednesday morning. Will you support it?
Well, I will, and I've looked at it.
But he says the fate of further police reform is now up to the Democrats, who have threatened to block the bill in the Senate.
Let's see what happens with the Democrats. They want to have, you know, they want to defund. I mean, they literally want to defund our police, and frankly, they would abolish our police if we weren't here.
While most Democrats don't want to abolish police, many do want to make it easier to sue officers and police departments for violent acts. We asked the president if, in the midst of nationwide protests over racial injustice,
will it be more difficult to unite the country in the middle of a re-election campaign?
I don't think so. There's a great feeling. I think it's just a great pride in the country.
At the White House, I'm Anna Warnicki.
And we are back to wrap it up after this. You're watching Capitol View on Sunday morning.
The Arkansas Scholarship Lottery has some much-needed good news to share. In the last 10 years, we've helped provide more than 540,000 college scholarships for students like these. With their hard work and our support, the next generation of doctors, nurses, teachers, and others are creating a brighter future for our state. The lottery is here for students today and will be here when it's time for school. Stay safe and stay strong, Arkansas.
For the past 3 years, we have been your neighborhood bar and grill. The staff you know is still here to serve you. Our award-winning cuisine is returning with exciting new dishes. Our mixologists have crafted new signature cocktails. The patio is set up for your family and friends. The garage doors are open on the Sidewalk Cafe. Let us pour you a peachy keat. We're excited to welcome you back.
You're watching Capitol View, Sunday morning talk focused on the political scene in Arkansas.
That'll wrap it up for this week's show. Make sure you get the Capitol View podcast wherever you get your podcasts. We're back with an all-new one next week. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Stay safe. Wear your masks.